Hey, good afternoon. It is Tuesday, April the 5th, 2023. This is Connie Regulate in downtown Nashville. Behind me, there's a courthouse. If you see that over here, is the Department of Children's Services Central Office. And over there, that direction is the Tennessee General Assembly. So I'm getting ready to head back down. I apologize, I don't have this on a stand. If it's a little bumpy, I'll try to hold it as still as I can. But this is, I know everybody's watching what's going on in New York today with the Trump indictment. And I just wanted to share with you that fake crimes are absolutely real. And that is exactly what happened to me when District Attorney Kim Helper, who is now dead, who died just on the very same day one of the cases was before the Court of Criminal Appeals. She changed the language of the statute so that she could create a fake felony crime against myself and my client, Miss Wendy. And so it's absolutely true, totally politicized because they wanted to shut me up and because I offended the people over there in that building, the Department of Children's Services. So it happens. It absolutely happens. Kind of noisy out here. I'm so sorry about that. I hope you can hear me okay. But yeah, total politicization of the Criminal Justice Center. So in my case, which was a year ago in April 2022, after they gave me the fake felonies, the Tennessee Supreme Court sent me a fax saying that I could no longer practice law, even though it was a fake felony, even though it was, of course, going to be appealed. I even asked them to have a hearing on that issue, that it was a fake felony. And they said, no, I'm so sorry, you're not even entitled to a hearing. So the justice system, the Justice Department, the justice branch of government denies due process. So it's kind of bright out here too. Sorry, my eyes look so weird. Andre, yes, thank you. I wish you could too. I'm going to be doing some more traveling. I'm going to be packing up my bags and going on the road and talking to people. So listen, the reason I'm down here and my client friends, Chad and Jessica Farley, were down here yesterday with me. I don't know if you saw any of the videos, but there was quite a ruckus down here at the Tennessee General Assembly because on Thursday, there had been what is affectionately being called now as a Tennessee insurrection. And of course, the Democrats were saying it was not. It was crazy land. But what is interesting is it was 3 House reps, Gloria Johnson, all Democrats, Gloria Johnson, Knoxville, Pearson, who is Memphis area, and Jones, who is the Nashville area. And they were summarily stripped of their committee memberships with a letter from the clerk's office 30 minutes before the committee started yesterday. So we snuck in. We didn't sneak in. We just jumped in. The press conference over that, and I posted quite a bit of that. But, one of the things that's really interesting, Gloria Johnson also is very frustrated with DCS. And, in Tennessee, we have a supermajority red. But honestly, I'm just going to tell you, our red General Assembly members are just fascists. They're just becoming fascist, and it's crazy. And y'all have got to help me and stand up against them. And I don't care if you're in Tennessee, and yeah, who said this? Wait a minute. Yes, Zach saying now, thank you. I am not shutting up. So if if you're in Tennessee and you just sign a piece of paper that says, I don't know, send me a message in Messenger and I'll screenshot it that says, I live in Covington, Tennessee, and my state rep needs to listen to Connie Regulate and what your name is and your address. I'll take those screenshots and put them in I'll put them in a binder or something, and I'll go to these state reps and I'll say, y'all need to start listening. I am not just my voice. I am a voice for hundreds and thousands of people. They don't even know the law down here. And so what they're trying to do this year, there are 2 things I am hot. Well, they did all these crazy adoption bills this year where basically to make it easier to adopt instead of restoring families. And even you can do like a Zoom surrender of your child. I'm like, how are you ever going to know that that's even the real person doing that surrender? So they, yeah, so I call it the drive-by surrender, which is basically also what the baby in the box is. But all making termination of parental rights easier, which is a constitutional right, a constitutionally protected right. It should be harder. You should be able to do jury trials on termination of parental rights. And, in my new life here, my new career, I'm just going to be taking all of these in and really doing something on a lot of areas of family law, which are so bad. I have some things on my mind that will just drive them crazy, but we're going to get them out there. So, okay, so let's go back to where we are now. So there are two bills I'm just hot on right now. So one of them is House Bill 1109, put together by Ron Travis. Now, look, Ron Travis has an insurance background. He's from, I think, like Cleveland, Tennessee, somewhere sort of down in that area, that southeast area. And he did this bill, which we might as well just call the Connie Regulate bill, because they are now 5 years after the fact trying to make criminal, which was not criminal in 2018. It was not criminal. And I studied legislative history. I know the law. I was a prosecutor. What they charged Wendy and I, they had to jack up the language. They had to change the language of the statute to be able to get an indictment. And then, of course, so what happens? So your grand jury, which is, of course, all a secret proceeding, remember that. Not only is it a secret proceeding, it's like you can't even talk about what happened in the grand jury. It's like a crime for people to even talk about what happened in the grand jury. I hope y'all can hear me okay. I guess you can. I see some comments, but somebody might want to give me a little thumbs up, because it's starting to be like super windy here, and I know that affects like what you can hear. So they have this secret proceeding called the grand jury. Well, when I got the indictment, I chuckled at it because, oh, thank you, Barb. I chuckled at it because I saw that Kim Helper, the now dead Kim Helper, changed the language of the statute, and she left the language out about visitation orders, because that's what it's supposed to be about, visitation orders. And the Tennessee General Assembly was very careful back in 2004 to craft this statute so that it was really about orders fully adjudicated between parents. And now DCS, got their nose bent all out of shape because they want to go do secret ex parte orders and not even investigate them. I mean, even if I'm just going to compare this to, let's just say, parents. So parents sometimes get an ex parte order, okay? But if a parent is going to get an ex parte order to protect their child, they have to swear under oath in an affidavit the facts that they know put the child at risk. And they have to, again, swear under oath, and they have to claim that there is an immediate risk of harm that could not be protected prior to a hearing. Or, they couldn't have a hearing and protect the child. Immediate. It has the immediate risk of harm, right? And so let's say that parent lies. Now, I know y'all face a lot of cases, parent to parent, and parents lie too. I get it. I've seen it over and over. But at least you're entitled to a hearing, and you can cross-examine that parent on the facts that they swore to under oath. And if they don't have the evidence, and they are not allowed to do hearsay, okay? So if you have a hearing, if they get an ex parte restraining order and they set a hearing, and they take your kid, another parent now also, this is parent to parent, or maybe a grandparent, but typically somebody who knows the child. And so the child at least has some familiarity with what's happening, and not with DCS though, right? It goes to the home of a stranger. So then you have a probable cause hearing, or in civil court between parents, you have a hearing in which they are not entitled to use hearsay. They have to have good evidence. They can't do hearsay. If they need another witness to come to court, they have to subpoena them. And then they have to show by a preponderance of evidence those facts are true and the child's at immediate risk of harm. DCS doesn't have to do that. They can base their petitions on hearsay. They swear under oath to the truthfulness of them, but they just put in there, well, we don't know the truth. It's just what we received in the referral. And so then they get a secret ex parte order. Then they show up at your door to take your children. And then in the hearing in 72 hours, their probable cause hearing, they can do hearsay. So the social worker can get up there and go, yeah, I received a report. The child was starved, right? They don't even have to put on competent evidence. So now they want to make it criminal. They are making it criminal. I spoke last week. Chad and Jessica Farley are speaking today. I have another gentleman that is speaking today in front of the House committees, and they just do not. Are you aware U.S. forces have opened 3 bases? Well, yeah, probably, but they, yeah. I mean, it's fascism. It's just fascism. It's fascism that they can go get an ex parte order to take your child without an investigation on hearsay and sometimes even anonymous allegations. And then you can be made a criminal if you don't turn your child over. You're made a felon. And then in my case, they claimed that I was an accessory, but I was their freaking attorney. And the statute even says that it does not apply to legal representation. And I was her attorney. I was her attorney of record. I was attempting to get in contact with somebody who could waylay this ridiculous order. Oh my gosh. So anyway, fake felonies are real. They can be jacked up by the DA. They can be jacked up by the trial judge, Judge Joseph A. Woodruff out of Williamson County, who comes from Waller, Lanston, Dorchin, Davis. That's a whole nother story. But he just rewrote the law. He just rewrote it to be what he wanted to be. So Wendy's case was heard before the Court of Criminal Appeals on March the 21st, and I'm just no longer shutting up about it. I stayed kind of quiet about it for really a couple years. I mean, they gagged Wendy and I, and then then the gag order was kind of like resolved. But I knew they would jump on us and gag us again, and I just didn't even want to have to deal with that. But that's over now. There's no gag orders. Wendy's case has already been heard before the Court of Appeals. They'll have to be making their decisions and their judgments here within the next few weeks or months. And I am my appeal. They won't turn over my transcript, so I've been making phone calls on that today. It's now been a year, and I don't have a transcript on my case, and I paid full cash for it. I paid the full amount. So just like Trump, they want, Kim, you're exactly right. They just wanted to shut me up. And, they just look at me here in the committees like I'm some type of pariah, and they don't even know the law. I'm like, it's like basic due process. What is wrong with you people? So I'm not going to be quiet about it. So Ron Travis out of Cleveland, where I set a meeting with him and he canceled it. Mary Littleton came tromping in the room right behind me, and she's out of Cheatham County and Dixon County. So we need to go find some people to primary them, some good conservative patriot Republicans. And if you're in Tennessee and you're a good conservative patriot Republicans who want to really listen to people who have knowledge about policy, family policy, and law, then step up and we will help you. I am not alone. I have people who can work on this and who can do this. So time to step up. Let's get some good people in here making laws. They are buying and selling votes on bills. I'm just going to tell you, I've been digging through their campaign contributions and contact you, Trump's legal team, federal. Yeah, sure. Legal abuse. Exactly. Thank you, TM. So, they're buying and selling votes. I started going through, I'm pulling the campaign contributions, and and these General Assembly members are contributing to each other's campaigns. Now, why would they do that, right? Why would they be contributing $500? And I'm not going to say the names right now because I'm going to put it together for you, but I know who it is. And yesterday, Gloria Johnson was talking about what the majority had done to them. And I asked her, I'm like, do you think it's the entire majority, or do you think it's leadership? Because I have some other people who talk to me about the leadership, which is Jack Johnson, Cameron Sexton, William Lambert likes to put himself in that place. And they are controlling the narrative, and they're doing some very fascist things. The other thing that's coming up, and I'm going to be back down here again tomorrow morning, is the Bill 1214, where they're trying to create charter boarding schools. Now, I am just like, I'm like, this is so crazy because, we got rid of boarding schools almost 100 years ago now because they were so bad and it was such a horrible thing to do to kids. And now they want to create these boarding schools for at-risk children who are at risk of going into DCS custody because of family dysfunction with no hearing. I mean, there's no due process on that either. So they are going to be picking up children claiming they're at risk and sticking them in boarding schools. Our juvenile court judges, if you have a kid that runs away or does hijacks, whatever, teenagers do some weird things, okay, and you have to kind of work your way through a teenager's life very gingerly. I've had teenagers that have been easy and teenagers that are hard, but if you have a teenager or a kid that slips out at night and runs away and they're not home in the morning, the only way you can get the police involved is if you go to juvenile court and you file an unruly petition. Well, what does that do? That puts you under the jurisdiction of the juvenile court, which makes like crazy Judge Sharon Guffey or Barry Tatum or some Michael Collins is not anymore. Well, I'll have to look them up because there's a whole bunch of new ones this year. I haven't even gotten down to digging into who they are and what their campaign contributions are. But, it puts you in front of this juvenile court jurisdiction. And what does a juvenile court judge do? They'll put the child under probation and they'll make the parent comply with the child's probation. And they'll say that if the parent does not comply, that they'll hold them in contempt of court. They tried to do that to me with my daughter. I'm like, you guys are freaking crazy. They did pass a law out of committee, and I'm sure it's probably going to be passed by both sides, probably unanimously, where if a child is convicted of cruelty to animals, they have to order a mental health evaluation. Okay, now, all right, so I don't know. I don't think that's maybe a bad thing. Okay, so you want a mental health evaluation of a child who abuses a dog. Okay, but who's going to pay for that? And in this new law, if the parents refuse to do it or don't get it done, the parent can go to jail for contempt of court. Now, what is that going to solve? What is that going to solve? I mean, everything is so back-asswards. It's like it doesn't even make sense anymore. Could FFP afford me a round trip to Mar-a-Lago? Well, I don't have a FFP would FFF, which is the Family Forward Foundation, would not be within their mission statement and objectives. So FFP is not an entity. It is just it's a social media a grassroots organization. So, I have some ways to get supported through FFP and stuff, but I don't really push it out there yet, but we're going to go there. So, and I'm going to say to you, all patriots, it's time for you to find somebody who to support, right? I mean, we can't trust the mainstream media. We can't trust NBC, CBS, ABC, and Fox is a hit or miss, right? We just don't know. But there's all kinds of people out there now who are speaking the truth to you and who want you to know the truth and who want you to participate and have knowledge about your government. And it's time to start figuring out who you want to support. If it's $3, $4, $5 a month, then, we just need to get into those portals. All right, let me see. Oh, Kim, we basically don't have justice system, right? Yes, they're showing us what they can get away with is exactly right. Look at what they did to me. And there's a ton of people in Tennessee who know this is a dirty deal. They know it. And also, I am now the poster child for attorneys don't buck the system. Because I've been complaining about judges who do a crappy job and who don't. Yeah. Yes, Andrew. Yes, Kimberly Lowe. Yes, Kimberly and I have worked pretty close together. I've been in D.C. with her many times, and we talk frequently. And yes. If we were in Virginia, we would vote for Kimberly Lowe. So I'm hoping I'm standing behind her there. But we need to say who can you support to help be your constant voice. Okay, so this is my new gig right here, right? Standing up here. I'm going to check off here in just a second. I'm going to walk over to the General Assembly and Our meeting is at 4:30. I don't know what time it is now, but the meeting is at 4:30, so I need to get in there, and then I'll probably come back on with Chad and Jessica. I really want to give you an update on what their case is as far as civil rights is concerned, because they got an awesome opinion. I don't have that opinion with me, but we sure can give you some ideas. And I know everybody wants to know about who they can sue and what civil rights litigation looks like. And we got a great opinion on that from a magistrate. So we're waiting on the judge to confirm it. There's not been any objections filed that I know of. So I'm watching that. I'm reviewing that with them as we move forward to the next stage on that. Okay, y'all. So I'm going to click out here. It's hot out here. The sun is shining in my face. I'm all squinty-eyed and shadowy. Not a very flattering picture I can see. But I just wanted to be out here in front of a courthouse. So this is the Davidson County Courthouse right here in Nashville, Tennessee, right behind me. And the Department of Children's Services is in that big building right there. Bedroom Street. And where 3,900 people are, they're not all quite that building, but they manage 3,900 people across the state of Tennessee who are working their way through taking children and selling them out to other people. All right. Okay, you guys, thank you so much. If you didn't see the first part of it, I did this on StreamYard, so it would be in a couple places at once. My YouTube channel, which is just Connie Regularly, my Facebook profile, and my LinkedIn profile, so we can start spreading the audience. And I'll be back. I'll probably be back with Chad and Jessica a little bit later. All right. See you later. Bye-bye.